Hi guys, I'm Dreya with Platinum Black Services. Welcome to my channel. I like to help people start their business quickly and find profitable income streams. In this video, I would like to talk about something that's major that I don't think enough people are talking about from the foundational standpoint so that we can have an understanding of how to get into this business right now because before it blows up and becomes possibly oversaturated, which is the electrical vehicle industry. Okay, this is taking over everywhere, not just one country like the US or China or India or UK. It's taking over the entire world because of course we want to move away from producing carbon into the environment. So with electrical vehicles comes the need and necessity to charge these vehicles. It can be cars, trucks, vans, you name it. It needs to be charged because again, we're moving away from fuel and those things that produce all that nasty carbon in the air to something a lot cleaner. Now, you might be thinking about going into the EV business or not. However, you might also be confused. So, what I want to do is help provide some of that foundational understanding so that it doesn't seem so complicated. And the next step after this video, I'm going to post a video on how to find at least 19 different suppliers and installers to help you start an EV charging station business. So this video is going to be about tips on how to start your EV charging station business. And then there's going to be a part 2 on where to go, who to contact. Okay. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump in. So just a little background information because I am in the US. So the US government right now plans to help domestic manufacturers, so that's manufacturers that are right here on US soil, to build at least 250,000 EV chargers each year. Okay. That's a lot. That's a lot. But the reason why it's a lot is because by 2030, which is not too far from now, we're in 2022. So less than 8 years from now, the goal is to have at least 50% of all new vehicles that are sold to be electric. Okay, so that's huge. So we have to figure out how to produce all of these electrical vehicles, how to get them sold, and then once, well, let's say, at the same time, we have to also have charging stations for all these vehicles because 2030 is right around the corner. So we have to kind of have these two things work hand in hand together. And that's where you come in and learning how to start your own business so that you can help charge these vehicles and make good money. So Siemens, which is an international, I think it's German based, it's an international manufacturer. They're already on track to build 1 million EV chargers over the next 4 years. Again, not too far from now, we'll start seeing more and more of these units, these charging station units everywhere in preparation for the new, electrical vehicles that are going to be manufactured and produced. Now, many auto manufacturers or automakers have also begun shifting their production to electrical vehicles. And I'm pretty sure you've seen some of these vehicles, maybe hybrids, or maybe it might be a full battery. Of course, Tesla is like the big electric car manufacturer right now. But I mean, Ford is getting on, has, started making electrical vehicles already. General Motors, Chevrolet, Nissan, Hyundai, Kia, Volvo, and it goes on and on and on. So everyone, I think also Porsche. So this shift is major and it's happening now in real time. So the first tip is, if you want to start your own EV charging station business, is to know that there are 3 types of EV chargers. So it's level 1, level 2, and level 3. Okay. Now, level 1, these chargers are primarily installed at homes at the home of the owner, and it takes up to at least 24 hours to fully charge an electrical vehicle. So these are strictly for home. If you bought a Tesla, you bought, I can't remember what other electrical vehicles are out right now, but, a Hyundai or what have you, and it requires charging, you can buy your own personal charger right now, have it installed at your home, like in your garage, for example, and you'll be able to charge it. The only downfall is they charge very slowly. So normally, the owner will charge it overnight, and it takes, for a fully charged battery, at least like, a full day. So now we have level 2 chargers, and they can be used both domestically and commercially. And it takes a shorter time. So it takes roughly about 8 hours to fully charge an electrical vehicle. Now, these are the types of chargers that you want to start thinking about if you're going to look into starting an EV charging station business. Level 2, you definitely can use. It makes sense. 8 hours, it's still a long time, but it's not as long. It's not 24 hours. And again, it just depends on basically the need of your customers, and of course, what you can afford and what you're willing to, what you're looking into doing. But I think for the most part, level 2, from what I've read and done my research, level 2 is, sufficient for someone who's looking to start an EV charging station business. And then level 3, which is the fastest charger, and they're primarily used for commercial use. And to fully charge a vehicle, it's super fast. It takes anywhere between 60 and 90 minutes. So, of course, level 3 definitely is something that you want to have, especially for those. I would guess maybe for those who are traveling, and they'll stop at a resting stop real quick, and they need a quick charge as they're, kind of, you know, grabbing a bite to eat, using the restroom, refreshing themselves, quick charge, and then they're back on the road. Same as you go to any kind of rest stop. I think primarily that's what the level 3 charges might be used for. Probably some other different scenarios as well, but I think that's the best scenario to think of. So keep that in mind, level 3, and I'm pretty sure they're probably a little bit more expensive, but still, of course, just do your research to see which unit is best, and of course, pricing. So the second tip is you want to make sure that you're installing your charging stations that are compatible with all or most EVs. So as I mentioned before, all of these different auto manufacturers are building, making their own versions of electrical vehicles. And of course, each one will have a different type of way of connecting to the charging station. So you want to make sure that you have something that's compatible, if possible, that can connect to as many different vehicles as possible. Because if you're only stuck with charging one type of electrical vehicle, that of course impacts profit, and you don't want that to happen. I've read where there are adapters. So if not, buy an adapter to help with the connectivity issues. Again, that just comes with research. And if you stay to watch part 2, or at least watch the second video that I post, you can always reach out to those installers or manufacturers and ask them, hey, are your units compatible with most vehicles out here? If not, do you have adapters? Do you sell adapters? So that's always a good thing to keep in mind. All right, tip number 3, you want to pick a prime location to set up your EV charging station that's easy and convenient for the public to access. I mentioned before, like rest stops, public rest stops, but let's say you own a parking lot. Maybe you have a condo and you have a parking lot there, or you own a grocery store or any kind of store. Your parking lot, you can always have a couple of units there, or parking units, to set up a charging station. Or if you just want the whole parking area to have a charging station in front of each area that a person pulls up to, that's totally up to you. Parking garages, retail shop centers, apartments, as I mentioned, apartments, condos, entertainment venues. Of course, that should be a very lucrative area to build or to set up a charging station, because everyone, likes to go out to the movies, or to, you know, an event, a concert, whatever. Restaurants, of course, healthcare facilities. Don't underestimate healthcare facility. I mean, there are doctors out there that are driving electrical vehicles, obviously Teslas. I've seen it, but even, patients, different types of patients and workers at hospitals, they are, driving electrical vehicles to that location. So you want to keep that in mind. Executive buildings, of course, any workplace, any place where, you have employees, and hospitals and hotels. Okay. Tip number 3, you want to determine the durability and weatherproofing needs for outdoor and indoor installations. So for outdoor installations, look for charging equipment with NEMA 3 or 4 enclosure ratings. So what is NEMA? NEMA, I believe, stands for the National Electrical Manufacturing Association, and they determine the standards of different ways that electrical units are installed and properly managed and ran and built. So for the electrical vehicles that will be out on the road and the stations that need to charge them, there are units that are built stronger than others, depending on if you're going to have a charging station with coverage, like overhead coverage for weather, or if it's just, an all in, indoor parking lot. Um, any kind of setup, but you just want to make sure you pick the right setup. NEMA 3 and NEMA 4, from what I've read, are the best, or the kind of like the higher standards of charging electrical systems you want to install for your electrical vehicle, because it's definitely stands against a lot of bad weather, and it's built strong, so I believe it wouldn't rust. Either it doesn't rust or it doesn't rust as quickly. Over the years, it lasts a lot longer. So just do some additional research and make sure you find out the standards and, the needs that you'll have based off of the type of charging station you want to set up. Tip number 4. So now you want to start thinking about the business model itself. How are you going to get paid? How will your business make profit? And so far, I've seen 3 types of business models. So we have the pay as you go, which is technically what's going on right now with gas stations. So it's pay as you go. You just, that person pulls up to one of your stations. I'm pretty sure they kind of swipe their card, or maybe they'll have an app, because of course nowadays everything, every company for the most part has an app that you can sign into and, go ahead and pay for your service, logging your wallet, your credit card information into your digital wallet or something like that, and just pay for what you need. Subscription based model, you might, again, through an app, you might have people sign up and they'll buy a subscription. So then they're paying a monthly fee, which is always nice, because then you'll always have that monthly revenue coming in. And the third option is public charging rates. So with the public charging rates, you determine the rates. I don't know what that looks like, but I'm pretty sure there's a structure there that you'll learn how to basically charge on certain rating requirements for, how long it takes for somebody to charge their vehicle. Probably same thing as with gas, how, you go to a gas station and 1 minute your gas is like $3.50, and the next part of the day the gas goes up to like $4.05. I don't know. I know that's a big jump, but something similar to that. And also what's really good is that with the public charging rates, there's a system like an app, or maybe like a database system that you can log into from your computer, and you can, change the rates from there. You don't have to physically be at the electrical vehicle station to change the rates. So that's really convenient and good for you, of course, because you're controlling your profits. Tip number 5. So at this point, you want to vet and select consultants, suppliers, installers who have experience within the EV industry. So after you have a good understanding, you've done more research, you understand, where you want to place your EV charging station, with the type of EV chargers you want to buy. You might have already selected some consultants to, you work with, spoke with some suppliers, things of that nature. Just make sure they are experienced. It's a new industry, but it's not a new industry. But at least just make sure that you're working with people who understand the laws, understand the requirements and regulations for having this type of business and running it for you. Okay. And then number 6, last tip. So the great thing about jumping into this industry right now is that the government is really pushing hard for this. They're aggressive about this. So, with that being said, they're offering all types of credits and rebates and all kinds of bonus things financially to help people build these things, because again, we have the auto manufacturers, they're making these cars and they're quickly trying to get them ready and available. But then we need to charge these vehicles. If someone's going to buy a car, a EV, where can I charge this? I don't want to have a car and then I can only go but so far, or I can't go, I don't know. I can't, where can I go to charge this thing? So, um, know that you need to look for federal tax credits, state grants, and local or your local electrical utility can offer rebates that might help offset the installation costs. So, on one hand, you might think it's expensive, but then you might get some really good credits and rebates that helps in building that business for you. And the 3 agencies, at least if you're in the US, the 3 top agencies that can help you with some of these credits and rebates, because they're going to have them on and off. I don't know the specifics, so just make sure you contact them directly yourself, or if you select a specific installer or consultant, they might know of some current tax credits or rebates that are going on that the government is offering. But the 3 top governments in the U.S. are the U.S. Department of Transportation, the U.S. Department of Agriculture, and the Department of Energy. So you definitely want to tap into these 3 organizations to see what they might be offering right now. Because, of course, this is just such a hot thing right now, and you want to get in as early as you possibly can. All right. And last but not least, if you're looking to start a business, any kind of business, LLC or corporation, in this case, a corporation, and I say that only because usually with an LLC, if you're making less than $50,000, that really works to your advantage. But once you start making more than that, you really want a business structure that offers a lot more tax benefits. I am an accountant. I'm not a CPA though. So you definitely want to check with a CPA for more information on which business structure is best for you. However, if you're looking to start a C Corp or an S Corp, I have all-in-one corporate formation starter kit here where you can have you'll find your articles of incorporation, your bylaws, your corporate bylaws, and your shareholders agreement, as well as shareholder certificates. Um, and many more forms, your resolutions, your minutes, all of that. Usually when you're running a business like this, it's kind of frustrating to come up with all these forms. I put them all together. So over 150 forms are ready to go, and you can easily change them, add your logo, and download them immediately after purchase. So feel free to check out platinumblackservices.com, or just look in the description below for more information on obtaining an all-in-one corporate starter kit. It's really easy, and I have a discount code right now. If you use the code START NOW, you will receive $20 off. And again, you can download the forms immediately. They're in Word and PDF form. I originally put it in a book, as you can see, for each state. However, I just felt that, you can't rip the pages out. I don't know if you can see it, but these forms are great, but I wanted to make it easy for you guys to download and actually use them right away. And, to rip pages out of a book just doesn't seem, like it makes sense. So, all right, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope that this information has helped you. If you're someone who has been considering, or maybe not, but now it's sparked an interest of starting an EV charging station business, it's not as hard as you think from what I've done the research on. So the next step, of course, is to find installers and suppliers. So I have another video coming up soon, so look out for that one, and I'll provide a lot of great detailed information on who to go to get more information on your units. And of course, hopefully they'll help you with rebates, finding rebates and credits towards your business. All right. Bye, guys. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon.